What's up, everybody? Here we are. Okay. What's up, everybody?
Man, I'm trying to see. Talking like you got something in your throat or something.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to
Man, hey,
1207.
what's up, everybody? Hey, you loud as a mug.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to 1207. I think this is episode 3 of the series,
Yeah.
Learning to Love. First episode, we talked about suffers long, healthy suffering versus toxic suffering, all of the things. Episode 2, we talked about how love is kind. Not nice, but kind. And so now, episode 3, we are going to be talking about love does not parade itself. Love does not parade itself. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Oh, disclaimer. I know this is the same outfit from the last episode. It's called batch content, people. It's called batch content. That's what we do. That's how you do it. All right. Let's keep going. There you go. Yeah, I ain't put the same outfit on twice. Just had to let that bit out there.
So love doesn't parade itself. So let's talk about the danger of keeping count in a marriage.
Whoa, you finna just go straight into okay.
No, we ain't got long.
All right.
I'm looking at it. We ain't got long.
Jeez, did you put your time on?
I'm about to just dive straight on to this.
Dang. Okay. Love.
The danger of keeping count.
Of keeping.
Trust me,
Count.
it will happen.
Yes, it does.
It will happen when you feel as if you're giving 90 and your spouse is giving 10. It will happen. And many times it happens so swiftly because you never really know what all your spouse is doing.
You don't, right.
Like, you don't really know how much they're making your life easier. You don't really know what they're doing for the kids while you're at work. Or you don't know the stress they dealing with at work while you're at home with the kids.
While you at home with exactly.
You know, but I think also we should kind of tie in the last piece too. Love, what is it? Love. What we dealing with?
Oh, the rest of it.
No, what's the first piece? Yeah, love doesn't parade itself and it's not puffed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So love does not parade itself. I think that whole verse we can kind of use this time to like dissect, because love don't parade itself. Love don't keep count, because in keeping count, you then get puffed up.
Exactly.
You feel as if you have the right to say, "Oh, well, I pay all the bills," and so I'm puffed up. You know, like my head big, my chest poked out.
Yeah.
Or if it weren't for me, these kids wouldn't eat nothing. Like it can go in both ways, but because what's up?
Just trying to make sure you ain't got no steel toe boots.
Oh
on,
no,
you
you
stepping
silly.
on some feet.
It can easily go. I'm thinking like, oh, shit, look at that. Like, damn, she see a bug or something.
I'm sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to throw you off.
Dang. I know how you see spiders and stuff. I'm like, oh shoot.
Nah, not this time.
Yeah, but it can easily happen, and you have to be intentional with not allowing those thoughts to creep into your mind, because once they creep in, it starts to morph how you see things.
Yeah.
And so it can be an average situation, but because that seed has been planted in your mind, you see it from a whole other different perspective.
Right.
Because if I walk in the house with the mentality that my wife had a hard day, I had a hard day, it'd be a lot smoother.
It changes, right.
But if I go in, I've been working all day, going to work to pay all these bills, and all she doing is at the house taking care of the kids and washing their clothes and washing my drawers and listen, all of it's difficult.
Yes, it is. You
That's
know
what I
how
realized.
difficult it is to keep up with laundry?
First of all, listen, that's one. We can go laundry. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Like, we got a pile of clothes on the couch,
Like,
and I don't know what to do. Because I feel like we don't have the space to put them up.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I plan to just sit down and fold the clothes, It's like more clothes just keep appearing.
Mm-hmm.
More clothes just keep appearing.
I mean,
Like you said, when you catch up,
yeah.
you don't have nowhere to put all these doggone like.
I mean, 'cause we put on clothes every day, you know.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And some people be like, man, what? Just switch roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something that help people realize, like, she ain't
Mm-hmm.
just at the house watching Grey's Anatomy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or he ain't just at the house watching the football game. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this man, these kids ain't no joke. Listen, 2 kids is so much.
It's a lot.
You talking about 3, 4, 5 kids?
My God.
Man.
My God.
But it's having that mentality where I'm not parading myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making myself seem higher than what I am.
Right.
I understand that no matter what I'm bringing to the table, no matter what my partner bringing to the table, we're all equal. Because as long as the table is filled,
Yeah.
as long as the refrigerator is filled.
Now, I do have to say, because I'm always one that always wants to go to the direction of being self-accountable. I always want to make people look at self first.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes down to that topic, it almost as if it seems like it's some type of competition.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
It seems as if it's some type of competition. And I feel like the reason why if, gets to that point or feels like that is because someone is not secure within themselves. So maybe what you really hooping and hollering about, you really feel as though it's not enough.
Mm.
Like you probably feel as though you could be doing more. And so since you're so insecure about what it is that you're doing, your role, your ultimate goal is to try to make it seem as if it's such a high role.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly everything else that the other person is doing is beneath. It's underneath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I feel like that speaks from or comes from an insecurity within a person. Because if you secure within yourself and you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and all that you can do, and you playing a part, because this is a partnership, not a competition, then I'm not finna come in here in attack mode. I'm not finna come in here in compare and contrast mode. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna come in here like I'm doing my part, my wife doing her part, or I'm doing my part, my husband doing his part, and we making this thing work. We both is running this race to the finish line. You know what I'm saying? And so
I think you just opened up another can.
Oh.
So no, you talk about insecurity. So connecting the dots in between insecurity and parading yourself. So what are some fruits of insecurity? Like what could you see in a person without them flat out telling you that they insecure? What could you see in them that make you realize insecurity?
Well, the number one thing is always compare and contrast, for sure. Like, the conversation will always be like, well, when I do, or I do this, and so, when I do this happened. But see, when you had just did that, it only had did this. It's always like, you have to make what you do seem more important or had such like a higher, you know what I'm saying, probability than the other person, to where like you're the big dog and half of this stuff wouldn't be going on if it had not been for big dog. You just a little pup. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one providing the dog the dog food and all the other stuff, the treats and stuff. All you can do is bring me the bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's like on that type of stuff. So that for me will be the first thing. Really compare and contrast, because honestly, once you get to the umbrella of compare and contrast, it's always going to be them. It's always going to be promoting self. That's literally what it is. It's always promoting self and always pointing out self. It's always you. I did this. I did this. Not we. Not both. Not you did your part, I did my part. It's never team. They literally put the I in team. Literally.
So, okay, I I'm kind of thinking on the insecure word, and I want to kind of just dig a little bit deeper as much as we can. Um,
Because it
for
causes
a person
puff-upness.
to be insecure, I want to look at the word. I like to look at the word. For a person to be insecure, it mean okay. So security means you safe. When
Right.
when I have security, that means I'm safe.
Ooh, I know where you're going with this.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I'm insecure,
Mhm.
that means I'm unsafe.
Yep.
I feel unsafe.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I'm secure.
Mhm.
I don't feel protected in a
But
sense.
is it because of the spouse, or is it because of where your background? Because it can go both ways.
Right.
You know, it could be because your spouse does not make you feel secure, or it could be because you have past traumas
Mm-hmm.
and triggers to where you felt unheard, you felt unseen, or whatever the case may have
Mm-hmm.
been. And so now that you're in this position, this place, I'm gonna make sure that I feel heard and seen in this space. And it ain't got nothing to do with the lack of going on with your spouse, because they actually can be doing what they supposed to be doing, is making you feel like part of a team, and not, you got yours and I got mine.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're not healed, you're
Mm-hmm.
unhealed, you're bringing past trauma within the marriage. They're having to suffer with things that they didn't even cause. You know what I'm saying? And so now we have this imbalance
Mm-hmm.
because of something you bring into the table. Not that your spouse brought up, or not that your spouse put within, the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. Why? Because it makes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror. It do.
Mm-hmm.
It do.
So, but what if it's the spouse's? What if the spouse got something to do with it? You just kind of from one perspective.
Mm.
Cause I know you kind of on your self accountability stuff, But what about what can a? It's like
What can a
what
spouse
could you do to
do
make somebody
to make
feel
somebody
unsafe? Because when you say insecure, you know.
no vision?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No vision, for one. Um, we start something, or you say something. Just you're everywhere. You're
Mm.
everywhere, and because you're everywhere, I'm always the person that has to pick up the pieces
Mm.
after. This ain't no word, but after your everywhereness,
Mm-hmm.
like everything, our life is just so inconsistent and so just up in the air all the time. We have no foundation. We have no nothing. So therefore,
Mm. Mm.
this has caused me to feel insecure or
Mm.
not secure.
Mm.
That's what I feel like. No vision, definitely. I mean, because when you think about it, a, a, well, from a wife's perspective, we're to submit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if there's
Yeah, nothing to submit to.
nothing to submit to,
Right.
we already dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And so, what else do you feel as though could cause one to feel that way?
What can cause a person to feel insecure?
Mhm.
I, the no vision hit on the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, because security derives from protection,
Mhm.
and if I don't want to just be protected in the front entrance,
Mhm.
I want to know I'm protected in the back door as well.
Right.
I want to know that the window is secure.
Mhm.
I want to know that my alarm work. I want to know that when I leave my stuff in the car, that nobody's
Right.
gonna touch it. Nobody can break into it. I
Mhm.
want total stability.
Yeah.
Total security,
Mhm.
which leads to
Mm.
man. That just kind of opened up a lot because it can lead to a person not feeling whole
Mm.
because
Yeah.
if I only feel protected in certain areas of my life, that will cause me to have holes in other areas of my life.
Correct.
And where there are holes in other areas of my life, there are interests. So I'm secure over here, which means that nobody can get in. I'm solid. But on this side of my life, this area of my life, anybody is able to get in because my security is not solid.
God.
That's something.
Because that can lead to some stuff.
Exactly. But and that leads to other people saying things. That leads to you allowing certain things in your ear gate, in your eye gate. That leads because that again, all this is insecurity. Because insecurity will create spaces for things to reside when it shouldn't be there.
Correct.
Like now I'm making a space for you. Like I'm making a space for this sin in essence.
Yep.
Like I'm making a space. And it happens, just to be practical, it happens when you can work all day long, come home, get in the shower, took your kids in, and at 2:00 in the morning, you trying to get something going on outside your house. You know what I'm saying? It can happen in the times of the night that you should be asleep, but you up trying to creep. You know, and that's because that level of insecurity has created certain areas. It created certain areas in your life where things can dwell, where it really shouldn't have no space in your life. You know, so parading itself leads to insecurity. Insecurity leads to gaps in your life.
Yep.
The gaps in your life leads to interests. And with an interest, anybody can come in.
Yep.
Anything can come in. Any spirit can come in. Any habit can come in. So when they say that love doesn't parade itself, love is not insecure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So love is not insecure. Because love or marriage, love, it creates a barrier around your heart.
Exactly.
You know, in essence. Like,
exactly.
Like, you know for sure you have a state of the art system around your life when you have the right perspective of marriage. And just this or love. And also it's another passage of scripture I want to consider. When it says that love casts out fear. You know?
Yep.
So it's like, with true love, I shouldn't be scared of nothing.
Exactly.
I shouldn't fear anything. You know? So if I'm really operating like in what love really means, I'm not fearful.
Right.
I can't be insecure because I'm not scared that I'm missing something.
Exactly.
Because if I understand what love truly is, I understand that I'm not missing nothing outside of the love that I do have.
Exactly. Because I'm secure in it.
Because I'm secure in it, right? Which means I can see people over there hollering, screaming, when they're having fun.
Yeah.
I could be on social media and see pretty women, or for you, handsome dudes, and they partying, they got bottles, and they got plenty of money, and they got all this stuff. I can see all this, but guess what? None of this intrigues me because I know within myself
I don't
that
have
I
any
have.
holes.
Yeah, huh?
I don't
yeah,
have any holes.
exactly. I don't have any spaces for that to dwell.
Exactly.
I know within myself that I'm not fearful of what I do have, trying to chase what I don't have.
Exactly.
What I do have is love, it's faith, it's hope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can get to where they are, but my way. I get to where they are, but God's way.
Right.
I can get to where they are within my system that I operate in. You know, so love does not parade itself. Love is not puffed up.
So what do you think about when it says love is not puffed up?
So when it says that knowledge puffs up, you know, knowledge So it's within the same context. So love does not make you act like you're bigger than yourself, and I think we covered that already.
Because the reason why I asked is because a thought just came into mind was that when I think of puffed up, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like sometimes spouses do not see their they do not see their spouse as their equal.
Mm. Mm.
Like, particularly those that are men, the men who are the head of the household.
Mm.
And so sometimes I feel like because I'm the head of the household, what I say goes, and macho macho, you know what I'm saying, type stuff. And they tend to look at their spouse as I don't want to say like servant, but more so like just not an equal, like not as their partner.
So, question. That's since you went there. I want to know. I want to know what that means. I mean, because everybody on the basketball court are equal, but they play different positions.
Correct.
So when you say equal, or don't see your spouse as equal, if if I make a decision and you disagree with the decision based on whatever reasons you have, but I'm saying that this decision is the best decision because of financial, emotional, the car, the house, whatever. Is that still me? Is that still me not keeping you? That's still me not letting you know that we're equal because I make a decision, and the decision is that you may disagree with the decision for whatever reason. Does that mean that not equal?
No, from that perspective, I feel as though not equal is not even being considerate at all. So the fact that we're even discussing this and we're actually equally participating, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get an actual image in my mind of what puffed up actually looks like on both ends. And I know that sometimes puffed up from a man's perspective within the marriage comes from like the head of the household aspect. And so
You know what that is?
what?
When you if you take a deflated balloon and you constantly pump it with air, you start seeing it get puffed up. It get puffed up. But when it get too puffed up, it pops.
Yeah.
It bursts. It dies ultimately. So I think, wow. So puffed up. I'm just thinking puffed up. So you got it. So there's a correlation between puffed up and being prideful.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you puffed up, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't listen to nobody. Your way or no way. And that's the correct correlation with pride.
Yeah.
Because see, pride says that I don't care who I have to kill, what I have to steal, who I have to hurt to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Puffed up says, I don't care about none you say, your perspective, your reasonings. This is what's going to happen. But I just feel like pride is a little bit higher than puffed up. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of like cousins.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of cousins. Like they ain't brothers, but they related somehow.
They first cousins. For
yeah.
Sure.
I mean, because if you prideful, it can easily being puffed up. That's why it says knowledge puffs up. because the more you know, it changes you.
Yeah.
Especially when you think in your own heart that everybody you around is beneath you.
Yeah.
And so being puffed up is you on a pathway to pride.
Mm.
If you keep driving down puffed up, you're gonna find a one-way highway down pride. So when it says love is not puffed up, love is not prideful.
Mm.
Because see, a prideful individual would not know their position. Hmm.
Mm.
A prideful individual would not know their position.
Cause they not secure.
They're not secure.
They don't feel as though their role has any weight.
Hmm. Yeah, they are perplexed in the mind because they desire something that they're not. Hmm. I mean, so I was looking at this for class, and I hope I can bring it to a point and we can close it, but and it makes sense. I think I can.
Mhm.
So the Tower of Babel, right?
Mhm.
The whole thing about that is, so they were Noah's descendants, right?
Mhm.
And that was around 100 years after the flood,
Mhm.
you know. And of course, God re he resaid his edict, right, by saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." So I think he told Adam and Eve, he told Noah,
Mhm.
because he restarted everything. And they said within themselves, because they all spoke the same language, they said within themselves that if God was to flood the earth again, we will build a city so high to the heavens
Mhm.
that we will be able to escape God's justice.
Mm.
We will be able to escape whatever God was to send our way, because they they weren't comfortable enough with just being who they were.
Mhm.
They had to try to think themselves. They were so powerful in their own mind. They couldn't even respect the position that God has given them,
Mhm.
trying to avoid something that probably would never happen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, because if they knew, he already said that I would not flood the earth again.
Right.
That's what the rainbow means.
Mhm.
But here it is. They trying to build this city out of pride
Mhm.
to defend themselves from something that would never happen. And when you are prideful in your marriage,
Mm.
you are building graves with no bodies. You are preparing for a fight that will never happen. You know, you are having conversations in your head that you probably will never have out loud.
That's
You are
crazy.
ultimately planning for your departure,
That's crazy.
all because of pride, all because of I don't like where I'm at, I don't like what I have, and so I'm going to try to beat this person out of it, or out of what they do have. So for pride to, for love is not puffed up, love is not parade itself. Love is saying, I'm cool. And what this text saying is, I'm cool with being me,
Mhm.
and I'm cool with you being you. But I'm gonna be the best I can be, and you can be
Mhm.
the best you can be,
Mhm.
and both of us can coexist together
And be the best us.
and be the best us.
Yeah.
And so we can truly be one.
Mm.
Because see, sometimes people be a point 0.5. And all that means is you have one person giving they all, and the other person not giving nothing.
Yeah.
You have one person giving more than they all, and they about to kill themselves.
Man.
You have the other person giving nothing.
Exactly.
So it
trash.
Yeah.
That's trash. But yeah.
That's it, y'all. I feel like that was a lot. I hope y'all get something from that.
My brain is overstimulated.
Yeah,
right
I hope
now.
mine is too. I hope y'all get something from that.
That's crazy.
12, huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah, 12:07 podcast. We'll see y'all later.
Mm-hmm.